These are the required points to express in your ad. Feel free to paraphrase and speak from your own experience. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So, it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And please make sure, this point, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Do you know the spelling of anchor.fm? ANCHOR.FM. Thank you for your listening. See you. Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time I'd like to talk about you will be a loser if you do not study for free time or in your free time, which is what I'd like to talk about. And first of all, you know, this episode is being recorded in in the winter of 2021, which means it's December when I'm recording this episode, and maybe most of you have got some degree or some amount of free time, and because since the beginning of the pandemic of coronavirus, maybe most of you have shifted to the style of working at home, or and in the case of my country, and in the case of my company, and I live in Japan, and in the case of my company, my company has shifted the works from the offices to from the office, or from the ordinary workplaces to the houses of employees, and each employee works at home, and sometimes, of course, sometimes which means sometimes we have to commute to our workplaces at a regular interval. I don't know how, and in regular basis I have to go to my workplaces, but so we repeat a series of shifts in which we have for some days we have to go to our workplaces, and for some days we have to stay at home and work in my house, which is what I'm doing even today, and I'm working while recording this episode. And going back to the original topic of this episode, and at first I said, if you will be a loser if you do not work in free in your free time. So by shifting to the working style at home, people began to work at home in 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 every country, in every developed country. I mean, so considering which, maybe you could spare time which had been spent for commuting before the pandemic of coronavirus, and maybe some of you have begun some hobbies, for example, creating some crafts, or for example, another hobby is to creating some crafts, and reading books, or it's possible to read books while commuting, but some people might have got some time for reading books, and maybe there must be other hobbies which is which is which is possible to do in your house or in your houses. So in this case, I'd like to recommend you to study for for your own, for example, for your own career, for your own career, or for your own, you know, for your own grades in your schools. So this is, for when it comes to when it comes to talking about grades, maybe students maybe students would care of their own grades. For example, those students could be, for example, high school students or junior high school students or university students in some cases, and you know, and like I have just said, you know, it's a great time for spending your own time for example studying and raising yourself or investing time in yourself in yourselves, by which you can get chance to raise your own incomes, or you can get chances to, for example, raising your own skills and raising your own, for example, proficiency of English language in my case. And of course, I have studied English, and I, I could spare time. I could spare, or I could get some time for creating contents, and I created pictures with captions of a bastigal, and I uploaded them onto ImageFab, and so I uploaded ImageFab, and in which there's a gallery which was uploaded yesterday, and which was uploaded not yesterday, days before, and this time I uploaded the pictures of a bastigal, and my main works are pictures with captions, and I added the captions to the pictures of a bastigal, and I uploaded them. I uploaded those pictures to ImageFab, and of course I could enjoy porn contents, or this time I enjoyed porn videos and porn pictures, and which is how I could I spend money, not only I spend time, not money. I spend time not only for content creation, but also for you know enjoying porn contents. But in my case, of course I enjoy time for playing and watching porn videos, and watching some movies, or watching some videos on YouTube. It's fine. You can do it, such a thing, but it's important to refresh, and it's important to take a break, or take a rest for curing your own minds, or curing your own bodies. But you should spend your own time for you should spend some of your time for studying. In my case, I have continuously studied, and by using in my case I commute using trains, so I read books while commuting, and like which you can like which I have spent some of my own time for studying, which is why which is how I have trained myself, and like which I recommend your studying, or I recommend your studying some, for example, foreign languages. In my case, I'm continuing to study English language, but apart from which English is a I use English while content creation, which is why studying I can create contents and study English simultaneously. So anyway, so in my case, for example, I I I don't study Chinese for now, but it's fine to study Chinese in my case. For example, if I could get more time, it's possible to spend my time for studying Chinese language, or Russian language or Korean language, and in your case, you, if you are native speakers of English language, you can try to study some foreign language like German language or French language, and Dutch is fine. Dutch is closer to English language than other languages belonging to other groups of languages. Like it's tough. Maybe it's hard for you to study Russian language or Arabic language if you are native speakers of English languages. Russian language is Russian language is sort of tough for me because uh, those words are really different. The Russian words are really different from, and Russian grammar is considerably difficult for me, and you know and anyway. So language, you could get some time. The fact is that most of you have got some time for the amount of time is larger than the time before, larger than the era before the pandemic of coronavirus. You know, after the pandemic of after the start of the pandemic, most of you have maybe most of you get some time for could get some longer time than before, which is why maybe some of you have might have maybe some of you might have spent some time for just playing, or in my case, when I was young I spent my a bunch of my own time for enjoying porn videos or enjoying porn content while drinking. I have spent my own time for doing such a thing, and most of my such time must be must be a waste of time. So maybe you can think like that, and like which you know what I'm telling you is that if you could get some time, it's fine to spend some of your time for enjoying porn content while drinking. You can spend some of your time like that, but you should spare another time or other times for studying watching it, or studying what you want to raise your own income, or to to increase your own happiness. Money is not all the stuff you have. Money is important, but there are many things you can't buy by spending your own money. So like for example, true loves, if such things exist, true loves from your lovers are not possible to purchase by using money. You have to spend your own time or your own mind for getting loves from your lovers. Like which anyway. The conclusion is that you should spend some of your time for studying if you could get some time after the beginning of the pandemic of coronavirus. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.